Hello Internet, I'm the Disney Brain and welcome to the Boy Meets World review. After months of discussing Girl Meets World on this channel, I've gotten more than a few requests to talk about the show that started it all back in 1993. Most of you that have seen it probably view it as I do, that being a really great show that tackles some great issues while also having the levity to be funny, witty, charming, heartfelt, and balance all of that within the narrative scope of a 5-member family living in Philadelphia. Just like its successor, Boy Meets World is a coming-of-age sitcom revolving around Corey Matthews and his family, along with other major supporting characters including Sean, Topanga, Minkus, and of course, Mr. George Feeney. In this video, we'll be diving specifically into Season 1 and seeing how it holds up. And since Girl Meets World does exist, I'll be using a lot of it to make points, since it'll allow us to understand both shows a little better. So, with all that said, let's jump right in. Season 1 of Boy Meets World focuses primarily on the 6th grade antics of Corey Matthews and Sean Hunter, two decidedly unimpressive students who naturally cause all manner of headaches for their teacher Mr. Feeney. A large part of Season 1 is how Corey establishes relationships with other characters. This season is likely nobody's favorite out of the 7 total that there are, but it sets the foundation for what's to come, especially in the department of family and friendships. Sean starts the show already established as Corey's best friend, but that particular relationship goes through major tests during the season, particularly in one of Season 1's best episodes, The Fugitive, where Sean gets in big trouble and believes he can never go home again. It's then where young Corey struggles for the first time with doing the right thing versus acquiescing to Sean's preferences, not an easy choice by any stretch. Corey's relationship with Mr. Feeney has its ups and downs as well, and even though Corey is usually an annoyance to him, a few choice episodes on that end show how much respect and admiration Corey actually has for his teacher, and how invaluable he's been at teaching Corey more than just what's in those thick textbooks that he rarely reads anyways. This leads into the Matthews family dynamic, featuring his parents Alan and Amy, and his siblings Eric and Morgan. The Matthews parents always seemed fairly standard when you think of most 80s or 90s sitcom families, but they did bring their own unique charm and wit to the screen that stood out a bit from most characters in similar roles on other shows. While Amy serves as more of a consistent rock throughout the season, Corey's relationship with his father gets some interesting focus, especially in the episode Father Knows Least. Eric's entire character is an absurd one at times, with him mainly serving as the guy who chases girls because why not? But his antics are genuinely hilarious as well. Corey's relationship with both him and his sassier sister Morgan aren't overly dissimilar from what you'd find in sibling groups in like-minded shows, making fun of each other when they can, but being there for each other when they need to be. There's a parallel that can be drawn here comparing Season 1 of Boy Meets World to Season 1 of Girl Meets World in terms of establishing characters. It's not at all the same kind of dynamic present in Girl Meets World, but there are some similar facets. Corey and Sean serve as the best friend pairing, which is intentionally updated in the form of Riley and Maya, even right down to the fact that both Maya and Sean have rough home lives that are slowly revealed throughout the course of the show and are only briefly touched on in Season 1 of both shows. Riley, just like her father, comes from a relatively amazing home life, so it makes sense that both of them would be the dorkier ones that see a brighter side of the world compared to their troublemaking best pals. There's even a Minkus in Season 1 who, not surprisingly, is also somewhat similar to his son. The major difference here is that Stuart is more of an uneasy ally at times and not what you'd call a true friend of the main pair. Topanga starts off in a similar way, even though Corey secretly loves her throughout the entirety of the season. Topanga goes through a lot of change from Season 1 to Season 7, and tracking that throughout the course of these videos will be interesting. There's a lot of specific episode parallels to be drawn from Girl Meets World too, most notably the fact that in Season 1 of both shows, the main characters enter a play. But we could honestly talk parallels for hours as far as these two shows go, so leave your own thoughts and observations down below. But at the end of the day, is Season 1 of Boy Meets World any good? The answer is yes. The first season establishes so much to build from, and does so while still teaching valuable lessons, giving valuable insight, and being extremely funny. I love Girl Meets World, but the fact that Boy Meets World was allowed to be a bit more risque with its writing and its humor makes both aspects of Boy Meets World a cut above its successor. Seriously, this season has some really funny jokes and was never afraid to imply or directly suggest more mature topics. A lot of Boy Meets World is pretty standard just comparing it to similar shows of the time, but what makes it stand out is how engaging it made the life and times of a middle school kid. But every sitcom that lasted needed an X factor. For Fresh Prince, it was basically the whole cast, take your pick. For Family Matters, it was obviously Steve Urkel. For Full House, I would argue for Uncle Jesse. And in this show, the X factor is Feeney. Not just a teacher, but someone who can truly make you think, grow, develop, and understand concepts in sometimes untraditional ways. In the context of Girl Meets World, Corey is a great teacher, and some of his ideas are even greater than that. But this is the original master, the guy he learned it from, and it shows. Bottom line, if you like Corey as a teacher, you'll love Mr. Feeney. He's a bit more authoritative than Mr. Matthews, but once you get past that hurdle, you'll understand why his character is probably the most pivotal part of the series. In terms of specific episodes, I would say the best of Season 1 is a close race between The Fugitive and Teacher's Bet, but I would slightly favor the latter. Teacher's Bet is kind of an awe-inspiring episode if you're already privy to the fact that Corey eventually does become a teacher, and this episode is his first attempt at being just that. But beyond that, it really hits home with the ever-important topic of race and how easy it is to hurt people by calling them derogatory race-based terms, none of which I plan to use in any of my videos. Without being something akin to Straight Outta Compton, it provides a powerful reminder that the early 90s weren't just the wacky Saturday morning cartoons and the over-the-top cereal commercials we remember. There were problems too, serious ones. The 5 episodes I would recommend the most from this season, going from 5 to 1, are Father Knows Less, I Dream of Feeney, Risky Business, The Fugitive, and Teacher's Bet, with an honorable mention given to Model Family for just being a really fun ride of an episode. I feel that those episodes really get at the heart of Season 1, and exactly what the show can be at its best. All in all, Season 1 was a great start for Boy Meets World. It told a lot of meaningful narratives, while also never pulling any punches with the humor and the fun. It's kind of sad that Minkus wouldn't appear again until the Season 5 finale, since he provided a lot of character balance, and his presence would have definitely been welcome in the seasons to come. In any case, if you want to know more, give Season 1 a watch and decide for yourself what's important, what works, and of course, if you think it holds up after all these years. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, go ahead and throw it on a like, sub for more, and share it all over the internet. And don't forget to follow the Disney Brain on Facebook and Twitter for updates. Links down below. For those of you still watching, be sure to give me feedback on how you liked this particular video. Was the structure okay? Did you feel that it covered the topic well? Do you think anything about how I did this video should change for the Season 2 review? Do you even want a Season 2 review? Leave your thoughts down below if you have them. The coming days will bring with it the Choose-A-Rooney review, the top 10 best Nickelodeon theme songs, and maybe the top 5 worst Nick theme songs, or maybe we'll just jump right into Teen Beach Movie. We'll see. Either way, lots to look forward to. Until then...
Shakespeare wrote plays and sonnets. The Greeks wrote tragedies and comedies. Robert Burns, Emily Dickinson, the Brownings examined the depths of human emotions. And do you know what each one of these poets, playwrights, and philosophers had in common, Mr. Matthews?
They all took your class?